And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
What you just heard is FBI Director Kash Patel saying that to Senator Adam Schiff under oath in a Senate hearing. And we're going to watch exactly what Schiff said that made Patel lose it like that. Because what happened before that moment is way more interesting than the insult itself. I have thoughts. Let's get into it together.
So let me move on. Let me move on to the Epstein files. You said you're the most transparent FBI director in history, so I'm going to put you to the test. In 2024, you were asked by Glenn Beck about Epstein's Black Book. And you said, he asked, who has Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book? And you said, Black Book, FBI. And he said, but who? That is, I mean theirs. And you said, oh, that's under the direct control of the director of the FBI. That's what you said. Was that true, Mr. Patel?
I'll rely on you quoting it accurately. I did that a couple of years ago.
Was it true what you represented to Mr. Beck and the president's supporters out there, or were you lying? Was it true that the Black Book, Epstein's Black Book, was in the possession of the FBI director?
The Black Book was in the possession of the FBI.
Okay, so now that you're the FBI director, you have possession of the Black Book, right?
That index has been released.
So you have Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book?
What is known as Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book has been released by us.
And you released it. And let me follow up on Senator Kennedy's question, because he asked you, and I'll be very precise here, you've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself? And you said, himself. There's no credible information, none. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And Kennedy, the information we have, again, is limited. And Senator Kennedy said, the answer is no one. And you said, for the information we have. So is it your testimony today that in all the Epstein files, that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked no one to anyone but himself? Is that your testimony, Mr.
I never said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic anyone else.
Did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question, Senator Kennedy's question.
The information that 3 administrations have had access to have made determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others. I'm specifically stating we were working on
testimony today.
Well, you just read it, and I said it 10 minutes ago, so let the record reflect my testimony.
I just want to make sure there's no misunderstanding, because there are victims like Virginia Guifer who have testified otherwise, who have said otherwise, and you're telling the American people today that the Epstein list is a single name and it's Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we're to believe?
That's not what I'm saying. That's what you're saying, and you can say whatever you want.
Let me ask you this. When Todd Blanche went to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, she said, but did I think these guys were coming for that? I really don't. If you met Epstein, there's no way that this cast of characters, of which it's extraordinary, and some are in your cabinet, who you value as your co-workers, and you know would be with him if he was a creep or because they wanted sexual favors. A man wants sexual favors, he will find that. They didn't have to come to Epstein for that. And the next question Todd Blanche, the president's former criminal defense lawyer, asked is not who in the cabinet, who are you referring to? His question is, so when's the last time you think you were with Mr. Epstein when he got a massage? So let me ask you, who are those cabinet members that Ghislaine Maxwell was referring to that, that were part of this cast of characters associated with Mr. Epstein? Who are they?
The Deputy Attorney General took the aggressive step that no one else did and interviewed Ms. Maxwell for 2 days, and we released the entirety of that transcript.
Who are the cabinet members?
I do not have that transcript in front of me. You're picking it piecemeal. The American public can read the entirety of that.
One last question, because you clearly won't tell us the cabinet members associated with Mr. Epstein. Let me ask you one last question, and that is, right after she gives this testimony, front of an FBI agent, among others. She's transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender like herself. Who made that decision and why?
The Bureau of Prisons.
The Bureau of Decisions made it in
prisons.
The Bureau of Prisons decided on their own, without any consultation with Blanche or anyone else, that they were going to suddenly, after this interview, completely unrelated to this interview, completely unrelated to anything she said, move her to a prison not suitable for a sex offender. You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're
inmates.
Not in the weeds?
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of the California. We are bringing historic reform. Point of order. But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
you said I'm the most transparent FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
Both of you be quiet before I go to Senator Tillis.
Okay, so let's talk about everything you just watched, because I think this is where it gets really serious. Schiff just read from the Ghislaine Maxwell interview transcript, the one where Maxwell said, and you just heard it, that this cast of characters, some of whom are in your cabinet, would not have been with Epstein if he was just a creep. If they wanted sexual favors, they didn't need Epstein for that. And the very next question Todd Blanche asked, Trump's own former criminal defense lawyer, was not, who in the cabinet are you referring to? His next question was about massages. He just moved on. He didn't ask who. And Schiff just asked Patel the obvious follow-up. Who are those cabinet members Maxwell was referring to? And Patel said he doesn't have the transcript in front of him. The FBI director, talking about the most important sex trafficking case in American history, doesn't have the transcript in front of him. And then the Maxwell prison transfer. You just heard Schiff lay it out step by step. Maxwell gives this testimony, names cabinet members, and right after that interview, completely unrelated, Patel wants you to believe, she gets transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender. And Patel's answer is the Bureau of Prisons made that decision on their own. And Schiff asked the question that I think everybody watching was thinking, do you think the American people are stupid? And Patel said no, but his answer kind of assumes that they are. And then the moment you saw at the beginning, Schiff pushes Patel one too many times and Patel completely loses it. Biggest fraud in Senate history, disgrace, utter coward, political buffoon, all of that from the director of the FBI to a sitting United States senator in a public Senate hearing under oath. And then Patel goes on to say all you care about is a child sex predator and lists everything he thinks he's done right. Here's what I keep coming back to. Schiff asked two simple questions. Who were the cabinet members Maxwell named, and who decided to move Maxwell to that prison right after she named them? Patel didn't answer either one. Instead, he attacked Schiff personally, called him a fraud, a coward, a buffoon, and then talked about how transparent he's been. 33,000 pages of documents, but not the answer to those two questions. And that's the thing about transparency. It only counts if you're transparent about the things that matter. You just watched the FBI director refuse to name cabinet members that Ghislaine Maxwell herself connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and then call the senator who asked about it the biggest fraud in Senate history. Do you think Patel is hiding something? Or do you think Schiff was grandstanding? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.